straight to the action, and straight away you can see that the weather's not so great today. Lots of big names here. The rainbow jersey is here, the new rainbow jersey in the shape of Tadej Pogačar. However, we've not really seen those rainbows for a little bit of a while. First news is that there's no helicopter, I'm afraid, today. The conditions are too poor for that to happen. And look who's here. It's the new world champion. Rainbow jersey on his back, and the first time we get to see him in that jersey. Changed jerseys at the front here, because we saw UAE Emirates controlling for most of the day. Now Lidl Trek have taken off, and they are trying to close this down, giving their leaders their best opportunity to try and take on the likes of three-time defending champion Roglic. Pogačar, who's never won this, but who is up there now in the rainbow jersey for the first time. Evenepoel's here. Plenty of others able to show themselves as well. Remco Evenepoel not taking any chances. He's their second wheel already there, right at the front. Primož Roglic had just been moved up as well. You can see that the Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe team were looking after the three-time winner and defending champion here really well. The king of San Luca, Primož Roglic. Martinez there or thereabouts as well. Pogačar is being looked after, isn't he? And it's a scary place to be. So you see all the paint on the roads here as well, Matt, with these wet roads and the twisting and turning they're going to have to do. Here is that first left turn, and ascent number 1 of 5 of San Luca starts right now.
Tadej Pogačar is now on the front. Evenepoel already pressing on.
This is impressive.
This is
the front
very
there,
impressive.
We looked at it, and already the first ascent you could see that Pogačar, Roglic, Jorgensen, Evenepoel were all there at the front, and it is Evenepoel who's not quite putting in a big stinging attack, but certainly pulling things along. Roglic is reacting well on the left-hand side. Pogačar sticking to the wheel of Evenepoel, who will be feeling after last week that it's his time to strike back, and already a lot of damage is being done beyond the first 15 to 20 riders, and they're not ready yet at the first passage of the Curva delle Orfanelle. And now then, we get our first proper attack, and it's immediately marked by none other than the world champion, Tadej Pogačar.
I think he just likes going fast, doesn't he? Anybody wants to go fast, he said, I just want to go fast as well. It's just this, he didn't need to follow him, he didn't need to, but it's just this instinct that he's got, this, look at the gap that's already opened. This is a good move.
And now Tadej Pogačar, while the cameras are away, has taken off, and this is just the first of 5 ascents up San Luca. Last week it was 100 k's out. This week they've waited. He's gone. Can they stay with him? Jorgensen is the man who's attempting to do that. But at the moment, Tadej Pogačar in full flight here in the first ascent of San Luca. And well, we've seen this film before, Matt Stevens.
What can you say? It's still a long way to go, but in the world of Tadej Pogačar, 37.5 k's, it's about 50 minutes, isn't it, on this sort of circuit? He's absolutely flying. The only rider that can anywhere near match him, or can't quite match him, is a couple of seconds off there, is the American Matteo Jorgensen. But after that little foray, that almost like a little testing turn on the front from Remco Evenepoel, a slight flex I think it was, the world champion has gone clear. Wow, this is impressive. What is going to happen behind him? And Pogačar, well, he's taken things to his own hands and he's gone clear. What more can you say about this man?
What did they do? They awoke the beast. Evenepoel there with the push on at the bottom.
Yeah.
They all tried to follow. It was an attack from Astana, Kazakhstan that was followed. And Tadej Pogačar, whilst the cameras were away, rode away. Jorgensen tried, for the moment has failed, and it's Pogačar alone. But there's still a lot of firepower behind if they can organise and if they can race smart.
Here we go. That's what I was talking about, Rob. We're back on the climb again. Where can they chase? They can't. And this man can afford to maybe knock it back a little bit, but I don't think Tadej Pogačar has got a switch that says knock it back. It's just full gas, isn't it?
Did it as much as possible on the descent there. You could see there was a bit more urgency behind. Pogačar taking it that little bit more conservatively, and that's reflected in the gap at 31 seconds, which had gone up to almost 50 to that group. But here he is, and this is much like means business, Pogačar. Johannes Stonemit chasing to try and help Matteo Jorgensen. Tadej Pogačar about to come through the finish line for the second time in San Luca. His gap's said to be around 47 seconds now. 3 more laps to go. Who's on the first ascent? He went away. Or a handscroller and off in.
He's kept it up
to the vegetation. 1:13 to the single chaser. Almost a minute and a half to the group. Only Pogačar messing this up somehow will prevent him winning this race. This is one that he hasn't won. This was another one to add to the palmarès if he could. Tick off a box, and the form he's in, well, because we make it sound so easy, it isn't that simple. Anywhere near that simple.
No.
But he's making it look like it. Rainbow bands on his back, new jersey, new outfit, same old Pogačar.
Tadej Pogačar again, still 2 laps to go when he passes through this time. He'll be aware of that time gap, there'll be the information passing through, but just look at his demeanour. Just looks in control, doesn't he? He just looks as if there's still, should he need to, there's something more under the hood. Certainly not maxed out there, but again, he'll be just feathering it at or near the red zone, maybe just a little bit below.
2 laps to go. Pogačar now with 15.5 kilometres to go. Descent time.
And he's back on the climb again. He's back on the climb again, Rob, and somewhere on that, even on the descent, he's found another handful of seconds.
A class act.
Yeah.
Quick drink and off he goes again. 11 kilometres to go. 2 times up the climb though. It's almost 2 minutes to Lipovic. It's 2.5 now to the group.
I didn't notice that feed at the bottom there. Basically, he's got a Soignier at the bottom, so he's taking his last sip of the bottle at the bottom of the climb, binning it, and taking a fresh one over the top. So he's making sure that he rides without that little bit of extra weight. So just every detail is accounted for, isn't it? Just flicks around that little pothole there, seated, flicking the pedals round. He does make it look so easy.
Bell rings on the finish line for Tadej Pogačar. Ultimo Giro, last lap in this year's Giro dell'Emilia, 107th edition of a race that began in 1909. And since 1909, there's maybe been a handful of cyclists who could be put up there in the bracket with the man who's winning this race right now, Tadej Pogačar.
Pogačar descends a lot on the hoods, so a lot of riders descend on the drops, but he's just happy to descend on the hoods here. Just hands over the brakes, just looks so comfortable. It's not just the way he rides on the flat, he descends so well. Most of the top pros descend really well, but there's a real relaxed way that he is on his bike, just almost nonchalant, just completely and utterly at one with that machine. It's just incredible to see that crazy fluidity, the high, just that pedal stroke that he has. And again, for anybody who likes to talking about the details of his bike setup, he rides incredibly short cranks, 175 cranks, just flicks them round. It looks quite different on a bike, but there's just a ridiculous efficiency about the way that he pedals that machine, and it's impressive to see.
Again on the steeper section, out the saddle, kilometre to go kite just above and in front of him. Just as it was last week, it is this week. 6 days after the exploit of exploits, after that 100 kilometre to go attack, Tadej Pogačar is at it again, this time with his brand new tunic upon his shoulders. I said last weekend that Tadej Pogačar and the rainbow jersey was the perfect fit. Tadej Pogačar all alone, and yes, you can hear it. They scream his name. It's like a football crowd out there for him today. And yes, nobody scored as many goals in one season for a while as this man. It's going to be win number 24, but that is nowhere near the most remarkable thing about what we're seeing again today. It's that insatiable attitude to go out and fight and win, to entertain, to race on instinct, not just following the plan, and to have the legs to back up everything he wants to do on the road. Doesn't matter the condition, doesn't matter the road, doesn't matter the place. He's there, he's winning, and behind they fight for that title of best of the rest. This time in the rainbow bands, Tadej Pogačar winning the Giro dell'Emilia and making yet more history.